Hi guys! So as promised, I promised to go on live and talk about third parties and how to deal with them, or what exactly is the vibration. See, a lot of you guys, you understand the concept. You understand that you have to know. You understand that it's a vibration, but many of you don't know, right, what that feels like. So you'll ask me, what does it feel like? And so I'm going to do a few things for you. One, I'm going to talk about the type of attitude that makes sure that third parties get eliminated right away. Secondly, I'm going to talk about the process. And third, I'm going to tell you exactly what needs to be done, okay? And I will start by saying what not to do, okay? First and foremost, what not to do. If you reverse engineer a construct, you will understand that you are its creator, okay? So in third-party situations, what has occurred is, on some level, you don't know you're the one. And so on some level, you've created another body that is going to stand in your place and demonstrate what is possible of you. It is when you don't accept being this person that you continue to give life to the third party. You see, if everything is you, your 3D, okay, is everything that you've rejected and not identified with being. So if you're not identifying with being this third party, baby love, you don't control the situation. Why? Because you don't own it. Can you understand that? You don't own it. So let me explain what not to do, okay? When you guys start affirming, I'm the only one, that's a good one, as long as you believe it. But you're only saying it because you believe the opposite, otherwise it wouldn't be showing up as your reality. Do you understand that? So you're already working against yourself. I always give this analogy, okay? 5D is behind you, 3D is what you can see. 5D is behind you, you can't see it yet. It's in the spiritual realm of possibilities of things that can exist. And 3D is what you believe already. These are the things that have been made solid. So this is the equivalent of wishing the mountain away. I wish the mountain away, I wish the mountain away, I wish the mountain away. That's not how it works, okay? I mean, you can spend the rest of your life trying to dig your way down to the mountain. You can. But you would be better off understanding you are the mountain so that the mountain will move with you, okay? So there are a few reasons why I've never had an issue with third parties, okay? And I want to describe this, and I also want you guys to understand the difference, okay? One of the things that my mother taught me in life is first comes you, baby, then comes you, and then comes you. Everything else is overflow and more than enough for everybody. But what she was trying to say is you must give yourself everything, so that you're not needing their attention, you're not needing their love. Your love is overflowing, but it is not needing or desiring. The most important part about what I just said, you cannot want something and get it at the same time. If you pine away, oh, I wish he was mine. Oh, let me say my affirmations to get my person. Okay, you understand that? That is counterproductive, because what are you affirming in 3D by saying the opposite? You are affirming the other reality. You are continuing to uphold yourself as the obstacle. You are continuing to give life to the reality in which you have not realized you are the one. It's bottom line. You have not realized you are the one. You have to live from this place. You have to know it. See, everything returns to God. everything returns to God. Everything returns to God. So it is your job to know you are that God. You are every single human being. So I'm going to give you the example of my client. Okay, she's more than a client. She helps me out with everything. She's very, very special. But many times she was like, Sin, I worry that there's this other young lady, and I worry about her in my reality, and I worry that my guy is gonna like him. So she created that for a brief moment, and I said to her, baby, you gotta own being that young lady. Own it. You are her. What do you want for her, right? And she was like, well, I want her to move to Florida. She lives in Arizona. She's like, I want her to move to Florida, and I want her to go away. I said, okay, as long as you own being that third party, you will. So what's funny is she worked on it. She worked on becoming her, not being jealous of her, not desiring her person, but knowing she was the source of everything. So not too recently, she's now with her person, but the funniest thing happened. I said, so what happened with that girl? And she's like, oh, she moved to Miami. Do you understand? She owned being her. What you must learn to do is not bypass 3D components by going, nah, nanny boo-boo, I can't see you, because what you resist persists. You are its creator. You must reverse engineer your construct and then learn how to be the potter of the clay before you. Third parties are so easy to eliminate when you know you are everything. If you don't know you are everything, you cannot move them. You give them separate life, a life of their own, but they are you, and they will always be you. They're simply standing in as a mirror of you. Okay? So understand this. Do not bypass it, and know you are the one. Know you are the one. Yes, Laura, you're moving to Siberia. Yes. It totally can happen, you guys. But the most important part is knowing you're the one, okay? This is the most important part of the equation. It's what people say, seek the kingdom of God first and everything is added on to you. That's because when you know you are everything, you are in the vortex. When you don't know you are everything, you are treating them as separate. And so now you're facing the wrong way in the 3D illusion, and it looks as if you are powerless. When you feel powerless to a situation, you are facing the wrong way. Okay? That's really, really important. But when you know, you're the one, it changes everything. Now, let me explain something. You can think you know you're the one and then be double-minded. Okay? You can think you're the one and then say, oh, well, she can have her, she can have him, or whatever. You give up. But what you're really giving up on is yourself. Because, see, your desire, what your heart is registering, is what is available to you in 5D. What you're here to do. You are to walk by faith, not by fear. Do you understand the difference? Fear gets you 3D. Faith gets you into 5D desired result, which becomes your 3D. But the invisible realm makes the physical realm. So work with the invisible to get the visible to move. Okay? Now I'm trying to be as simple as possible because I was told that I talk on too high of a level and that sometimes what I say goes over people's heads. So please let me know if what I'm saying makes sense, because I know that I'm talking with the invisible components, but there is a thing, there is a way to know that you are the one. You have to live from this place. You have to know everything is you. And then what is in front of your face will make sense. See, sometimes third parties, do you know that it's just a pattern? Like, why would you choose an unavailable person? Well, maybe because in your history, you've chosen unavailable people before. Why? Because you're trying to avoid the pain of your childhood. So you're attracted to someone because of that. But at the end of the day, that someone is still you, and you're still there to learn the lessons of yourself. I can't stress this enough, and this is the most difficult part to understand. Every single human being on earth is your experience. It's your experience. Their bodies are illusions of you. I've said this so many times. I've said this a bazillion times. But the only way to have what you want is if you can understand that. Because wanting love and knowing you have love are two different vibrations. If you want something, what are you creating? Lack. You are telling your brain, we don't have this yet. Okay? See, wanting something is only half the equation. You're not supposed to stay in want. The desire itself, wanting something, means that this is what was given to you already. This is what was given. In fact, if you ever notice, the more you try to get whatever you want, you just keep wanting it even more, right? That's your heart's way of saying you're facing the wrong direction, because if you continue to want it, you continue to create a divide between your brain and your heart, okay? But in the Gospel of Thomas, you are told that the two must become one, which means your heart and your mind must agree you are the one. Despite all circumstances, despite what you think you're seeing, you must agree you are the one. Because if you say, oh, but I see differently, then you continue to uphold the construct you are trying to get through. Third parties are simply your concept of not knowing you're the one, and that's why that is what's made visible. So appreciate that person, and if you need to send them to Miami or Siberia, please do so. It's fine, so long as you know she or he is you. Okay? Now you are going to be tested, and let me explain why this happens, okay? If you don't know you are worthy, if you don't know that you are the love that you seek, you will be tested by other people. Other people may appear to have more money. Other people might appear to be prettier. Other people may appear to have the things you're not identifying with being. Okay? That's a third party. And they are there to show you who you are. And as soon as you identify with being them, you have control over the outcome. If you don't identify with being them, my love, I'm so sorry. That third party is going to remain. But here is the thing, the most important part of the equation. You are not trying to change the components outside of you. I know it seems that way, but you are not. You are working inside here, inside here, inside here. These two things must agree, must know like they know, like they know, like they know, because that is the force that moves other people into action. That is the force. You can't see it. You can't physically see it, right? It is an invisible magnetic thing that moves things. If you know you are the one, and if you know like you know, like you know, like you know, because you feel it everywhere, you feel it in your bones, you feel it in your heart, you fucking feel that because you know it, okay? They will fall apart, whoever they are. Why? Because all you had to do was convince your brain of what is. I need to remind you guys of the story of Jacob, Esau, and Isaac, right? Daddy's blind, has no idea his son is pretending to be his other son to get his inheritance. That story sounds pretty crappy to me, doesn't it? And yet it's the most important story of the manual in the Bible, because if you think of the blind father as your brain, and you think of using the components and dressing up and feeling like your brother as your heart knowing sense that convinces your brain reproduces what you want. But it's an inside job. It's done here. These two things must be bridged. They cannot not agree. You know how often I hear, yeah, I know I'm the one. And then you say to me, but Cindy, why aren't they, why haven't they shown up? Or why aren't this or that? Or, okay, they haven't because you're being divided right now because you're looking with your brain's eyes and not with your heart's eyes. Your desire is the seeing eye dog for your brain. The problem is we have been conditioned as people and as students and as as just human beings. I don't care how old you are. You could be 20, you could be 50, you could be 30. I don't care how old you are. For however long, you have been conditioned to do this backwards. You have been conditioned to see with your eyes and react without understanding, without your heart leading the way. And that is what we came to fix. We came here to show you how your heart actually registers what's available to you in the 5D plane. So then it is our job to get coherent. So the quickest, fastest way that I get coherent is by practicing heart-brain coherence, okay? It seems like a silly, nonsensical thing to do, but if I practice the vibration every day, then my brain will recreate it. This is factual. I need you guys to remember that I'm the same person that sleep learned into the reality where Neville's words about people not dying, about people not knowing that they've died, about entering the dream and talking to people, all of that was programmed into my sleep until my dead and buried aunt is no longer dead and buried in this reality. In this new reality, she's perfectly alive, enjoying her best life. What did I do? I left the old construct and leaped to this one, where she's alive. How did that occur? Well, since I was asleep, my brain got programmed and rewired in my sleep until I woke up and it was produced. This is Jacob, Esau, and Isaac. Your brain will reproduce whatever you want, but it is not done by longing and pining away for someone, okay? If you continue to desire someone, if you continue to want them, if you continue to long for them, if you continue to try to ignore this reality instead of facing it like you own it, you will not have control of it. It will have control of you. You will react. You'll continue to want somebody. You'll continue to get upset. You'll be blocked or whatever, okay? But getting unblocked, having them call you, having them break up, all of that is controlled by your knowing, undivided knowing. Your heart and your sense must know. So many of you ask me, how do you practice heart-brain coherence? So what I do is very simple. It's a very simple technique, okay? My manifestations occur like this because I practice what I preach, all right? So what do? And this is my recommendation for all my clients, okay? This is what I tell you to do. No more than 15 minutes a day. 5 in the evening, 5 in the morning, and 5 reserved for the antagonistic voice that tells you to doubt, okay? If you don't need it, don't use it. That knocks it down to 10 minutes of your day, okay? And I say this very specifically. Notice 10 to 15 minutes is all that I'm willing to spend, okay? Because there is such a thing as the law of reverse effort. When you try and do something and you try really, really, really hard, you're struggling against your own construct, and this will make it seem harder than it needs to be, which is why I only say 10 to 15 minutes is the only thing you should do to spend on your construct and your desire, okay? Now, what I do is I slowly box breathe, okay? What I mean by that is I know how to make 3D images and enter them. It has to do with my aura color being magenta. Magentas can make 3D boxes and enter them. It's a little bit easier, but if I can do it, you can do it, okay? And so box breathing means inhale till the count of 4 as deep as you can. Hold it for the count of 4. Exhale to the count of 4. And before you take another breath, hold again for the count of 4. It can be as long as you want. I'm just giving you a quick, easy example. Okay, you follow? Make a box with your breath. And for a little while, the only thing I want you to focus on is making that box. I want you to practice relaxation. I want you to fast from what you're seeing outside. I want you to take a minute or 2 or 3 simply to empty your mind from all of the chatter going on and focus on nothing but making your square. Okay? 3D is a square. Your brain will understand the connection. Make a square. Okay? When you have sufficiently relaxed, breathe, slow, calm, what you're doing is you're creating a calm pool of water for your brain, where your brain is now at ease and ready for you, okay? So at first, that's what I want you to do. Breathe like a little box. Make that box, focus on it, relax. Do nothing but focus on your breath. This is very important. Very, very, very important. After you've made your box, I would like for you to place your hands on your heart, close your eyes, and envision a little golden cord going from your third eye to your heart. Okay? The fact that you've placed your hand on your heart will bring your mind's attention. Remember, your mind, these neural pathways, use your body as the remote control. Your hand being on your heart is important because it tells you, focus here. And then when you place this little cord from here to here, what you're doing is activating the picture mechanism in your brain, but you're attuning it to your heart's desire. So when you picture this little golden cord, you're actually connecting these two things. Remember, your brain doesn't know the difference. What's real and not real, it's totally dependent on you. Think about where your brain is. It sits in complete and total absolute darkness. Absolute darkness. It has no idea. It's sitting in your skull and has no idea. It's fully dependent on you. So when you're relaxed and you're making this little visualization, okay? Next thing I'd like for you to do is close your eyes. Take the pressure off. And I'd like for you to picture what it feels like to know you're the one. Okay? Use your experiences to help you remember. Okay? Let's think of it like this. Think back and think about the time when there was that young man or that young lady who was so into you. You may not have been into them, but they would have done anything for you. All of us know at least one person in our lives who has been that way for us, right? Okay. Now, remember that feeling, okay? It's not about not wanting them. It's about feeling desired. Tap into that feeling. If you can't picture things, don't freaking worry. You don't have to picture shit. You do, however, have to tap into that feeling, because I need you to remember, your heart can register the invisible realm, and your desire indicates what already exists. For example, when you are sick, the most desired thing in your life is to be healthy, right? That's because your heart is registering that you are already healthy. It is your job to let your heart guide you that way. When you're not being chosen, what do you desire? To be chosen, right? So this is the time that you're going to pray correctly. And you're going to place this feeling into your little breath box. And you're going to harness the power of that. And you're going to do that for 5 minutes before you go to sleep. And you're going to do that for 5 minutes before you wake up. When you wake up, sorry. Okay? So that's 10 minutes of your day, you guys. That's all I'm asking. All right. Now, there is such a thing as an antagonistic voice of doubt and fear that says, you're silly for doing this. Or that'll say, yeah, but see, she's still with him and you're not. Or that says, your fears manifest easier. Or whatever that voice is. If you find yourself listening to that voice, I want you to take the extra 5 minutes and drop back into your heart and retrain your brain. Okay? If you do this consistently, what you will find is you'll be prompted. You'll see things. You'll see evidence. You will be allowing your brain to consider, because the thing about this is you have to practice the vibration. Everything is vibration. Everyone tends to criticize Abraham Hicks. She's freaking saying the same thing Neville's saying. Feeling is the secret. Okay? Practice this vibration. Live from here. Okay? You will notice that when you do that, you start behaving like somebody who's the one, okay? I have a friend who's really funny. She started saying she's Queen Bee. She's the queen. She even set herself an alarm for like some medications that she has to take, and the alarm goes, "Here comes the queen," And so the other day she's with her partner, and he says, "Yes, my Queen Bee, whatever you want." And in that moment, she saw her construct being animated by the other flesh. And that's what you all need to know. In love is love reflected means. Time and space is a giant mirror of you. Giant mirror of you, okay? You are the source image of everything you see outside. You must learn to look at your construct without fear, own it, and practice this vibration. Practice this knowing. You will know when you convince yourself, because you won't desire it anymore. You won't desire it anymore. Do you know why you don't desire it anymore? Because if you have something, why would you desire it? And many of you fear this stage. You think, oh, if I don't want it anymore, does that mean I've given up? No, that means your brain knows that you've got it. Ride this wave. Okay? Ride this wave. It's the most important part of the equation, not wanting. Okay? I say this because let me tell you what my life is like now. Okay? I just show up. I just wake up. I don't desire anything anymore, and everything just kind of shows up for me. Okay? And I explained this in my post that I wrote earlier. I said, what's interesting is you guys have two choices in life. Okay? You have this little factory where you can make everything by hand. Okay? You can do the work. You can make everything by hand. Or there's my way, where you can press the button, the factory runs on its own, and all your finished products are just there. And you show up and you enjoy them. That's God's will. You can try your way, or you can try God's way. All right? So when it comes to third parties, I'm saying practice heart-brain coherence, practice knowing you're the one, practice living from the one, enjoy everything that shows up. The rest of the time, you guys, so if 15 minutes of, at most, 10 to 15 minutes a day is the only thing I'm asking you to do. I don't want you to spend hours. I don't want you to spend all, trying to drive yourself crazy. 10 to 15 minutes is what I'm asking you. That's it. The rest of the time, I want you to treat this desire like you treat Amazon. Treat it like you treat Amazon. When you place an order in Amazon, okay, you know a few things about Amazon. I want you to think of Amazon and God giving you your desires as the same thing, okay? You know, if you place an order on Amazon, you know that within 24 to 48 hours, whatever you've ordered will arrive. You know that if you need to return it, you can. You also know that if it is somehow lost or late or whatever, they will send you a replacement, refund your money, or send you a second one, and you might end up with two, and that's the price they're willing to pay to make sure that you are a happy and satisfied customer. God works the exact same way. Amazon is successful because it follows God's model. It is of service to the people in this way. So the rest of the time, what happens when you place that order? You know these things. That means very rarely are you checking the website to see when it's going to be delivered, because no matter what, you know 24 or 48 hours, it's yours. It's going to be there. Keep that going. Okay? You drop the desire, because what is made up here must be dropped. Let go. Expect to see it so that you can enter it. This is how it's solidified outside. If you are pining over it and you keep it, whether you realize it consciously or not, you continue to think of something, this is the equivalent of asking your waiter for water. Grabbing at them and saying, hey, can you bring me some water? And then you don't let go. And so the waiter can't get you the water. And he's like, well, if you let me go, I can go get it, And you're like, well, what if you don't come back? And, you do this with your desire. Don't do that. Trust the waiter to bring you your water. And yes, it will go out of sight for a little while. But if you know that the waiter will come back, just like you know Amazon will deliver your order, just like you know God will deliver your order, can you convince yourself? But you should not be overexerting, okay? The only other suggestion I have, take advantage of your sleep. Your brain, when it is not in action, is all lit up. As an example, if I go play soccer, you would think that while I'm playing soccer, my brain is lit up. No, only a tiny portion is lit up. It's in use, yes, but only a tiny portion. But if I were to close my eyes and place soccer in my brain, first, my whole brain would be lit up. Okay? So this is the Michael Jordan method. Michael Jordan was taught to play basketball in his head first. And then when he actually got in, well, we all know how he played, right? Okay? This is how you enter states, you guys. All is mental. The things that I teach you are ancient, thousands and thousands of years old. Hermetic principles, the Bible, everything that I'm teaching you is thousands and thousands of years old. And people call it New Age, but it is not. Okay? It's ancient age. I'm here, I'm an ancient one. Of course, I'm going to teach you the ancient ways, right? So remember that when you meditate and when you look as if you're doing nothing, you do more for yourself than you would ever do. Think of Michael Jordan and how well he plays. Michael Jordan lit up his whole entire brain by practicing playing the game in his head first and then going to practice. So that's what you're doing. Practice being and knowing you're the one. Okay? If you do this, I promise you, no one will ever compare. And I don't care if they're pretty, or I don't care if they speak 10 languages. I don't care if they have more money. They're not you. in that moment, when you love that, when you love who you are, if everything is a mirror and if I love everything about me, right? I love me, not out there, me, okay? Then what must the mirror show you? Exactly how you feel about yourself. This is why we do not waste our time affirming out there, okay? If you are going to use affirmations, they should be I am statements or we are statements. I am or we are mean the same thing. It's the only type of affirmation I want you using. And the only time you use these affirmations should be because you believe them, or you need a moment in which you need to reconvince yourself because you're doubting, and you need to say, no, brain, this is how it's going to be. This is how I declare. Okay? I don't want you mindlessly repeating something because you lack it. Because what happens is 3D will take even longer to conform, and you'll get frustrated in the process. Because what you're doing is the equivalent of parking in front of a tree, getting out and trying to cut the tree because you can't open the door, as opposed to simply moving your vehicle. Can you do it? Sure. Will it get you the result? Yeah, eventually. But I want you all to have everything instantly. And the thing is, everything is granted instant. It is your resistance to change that causes the delay in the space-time continuum that you make, because you are the creator of space and time. Okay? This whole there's wait for the appointed hour bullshit, that's old paradigm. That's old paradigm. If you create time and space and everything is relative to you, then that's old paradigm. Okay? So if you can master this knowing, I swear on my life, this is the invisible force that moves everything in your favor. Treat everything as if it is you. Be kind and know you are the one. Trust me. The coolest thing in the world is having your 3D show up and say, you are my universe. Oh my God, you're so special. Your love is so powerful. These are normal things that you will hear because you know you are the source. But you have to embody being that. And you have to embody not wanting and needing. Okay? Wanting and needing creates space that is not there. If you stop desiring someone because you know they are one with you, this will bring them closer. If I continue to desire, this will create the illusion of space, or the illusion of a third party, or, right? And mind you, these things are okay to have. They are simply obstacles that you created because you didn't know that you were worthy of the love that you are. But you are love. Let me reiterate this. You are love incarnate. So there's no way that you should be fearful of what you already are. It's the equivalent of saying, hey, make me these brown eyes. Like, I can't. They're mine. They're my little brown eyes. You know, I can't make what I already am. Love is the same way. You are love incarnate. Everyone is God. Everyone is love incarnate. Everyone already is worthy. Okay? We came here to experience things this way. But the only reason there would be a third party is if you don't think you're worthy of the love that you have. That you are. But the force, I'm telling you, the force that moves them into action, the force that shows up as you are, must start here. Inside. Work on this. Work on only this. Work on you, not them. Okay? Allow these desires to guide you. Because remember the design, you guys. Your heart If we're talking about your physical being as the whole universe, your heart is the thing that stands right in the middle, okay, between your physical and your spiritual plane. So it is registering what is true in 5D and what is true in 3D. All right? So as soon as you desire something, it is your job to be grateful for what is given and walk by faith, not fear. If you practice this above all else, I promise you the third party will go away. Just like it did for my friend. She moved to Florida. She's now with her guy. They're together. They're living their life and they're happy, right? And you know what the best part is? Do you know what he said to her? He said, "Oh," she's like, he's like, "That girl was superficial or whatever. I could see right through it. I was never interested in her." She entered that reality, but she declared it by owning being that person. It's important not to disassociate with what's before you, not resent them. If anything, appreciate what they've shown you so you can wake up to your power. I hope this helps. I will continue to talk about these kinds of things. For me, it's really simple. When you know, like you know, trust me, everybody will feel that magnetism. And it's the coolest thing in the world. But the answer is, in love is love reflected. If the mirror outside of me is my reflection, then as the source image, I have a responsibility to myself to be in love with myself in order to receive it. Okay? And the last thing I say is what my mama used to say to me was, first you, then you, then you. And so someone said to me, but what about narcissism? You know, and I was like, so let me correct a little bit. Okay? Let me adjust this. All right? First you, because you got to fill your cup. That's biblical. So what my mom said is not narcissism. It's making sure that you're self-full. Okay? The overflow is for them. So remember what I always teach. Step 1, you first. Know what you want, know your likes, know what you're with the loves, whatever. You are everything, but feed you first. Okay? Step 2, treat them as if they are you. Every single time, if you get frustrated with them and you treat them as if they're not you, if you're disrespectful, if you're unkind because you reacted, please understand that you are missing the mark, because that's not being loving. So treat them as if they are you. So when you don't need love because you've given it to yourself, and then you freely give love without any strings attached, okay? What are you going to be in balance with? 1 + 1 = 2. But if I give them all the love, the attention, I place them on the pedestal, I am beginning with a negative. Negative + 1 = a negative. I've subtracted from my own equation. And therefore, I will not be chosen. It's a very simple thing. This is biblical. You first, then treat your brother as if it's your brother, and then you're in balance. But it's very, very important to take them off the pedestal, to know that you are love. Okay, you guys? I hope this helps. I hope you understand how simple it is. I hope you understand you shouldn't be trying for hours. You shouldn't be scripting for hours. Unless it makes you feel good, then do it. Okay? But the minute it starts to feel like work, you're overdoing it, you're overexerting, and you're going to get frustrated. So it really shouldn't be more than 15 minutes of your day. And then the way you truly live in the end, you know, I have other videos, but the way you truly live in the end is to treat it like an Amazon order. You expect it, it'll be there, it will show up. It has to. Why? Because that's what you've decided. Okay? All right, you guys. I love you. I will see you soon. I am getting myself together for the Gospel of Thomas course coming up. I hope you guys join me for that soon. I also wanted to announce I kind of want to start doing a small question and answer group meeting soon. What I want to do is I'm going to charge only $20 to attend. Okay? $20 to attend. I don't want it to be a lot of money because it's not about the money for me, but I do want to be compensated for my time, okay? And whoever would like to join the Zoom meeting, it'll be $20 to attend. That's it. And you guys can answer and, ask me whatever questions, and we can spend question and answers together, and we can work things out, and we could just make little masterminds. So really cheap, really inexpensive, in a way that we can spend time answering any of your questions, because the truth is a lot of these questions, I watch these coaches and they give inconsistent answers because they're divided, and I don't want that. I want to give you the consistent answers, because the truth is I kind of have what you guys are looking for. I know that sounds crazy, but I do. I have what you guys are looking for. I've always been chosen. My heart's never been broken. I know the self-concept. And so who best to explain it if it's not my experience on display? I don't know what is, because it's true of everyone. Okay? So I'm looking forward to that, maybe doing that once a week. And I hope you guys join me for that. And hope this was helpful. I love you. And I will see you soon. Bye, guys.